where I come from is positioned in between mountains. So the sunlight is very sharp. It's never you never had this really sunset feeling because you see the sun when it's already up because the in between time covered out the hills. And if I thinking back in my memories, it's always very either dark or the light is if the sun is shining is very contrastful and sharp shades and things like that. I have to say I really don't know where I am coming from because I was born in Transylvania in the Hungarian minority, the middle of Romania. So there is actually 1 million Hungarian speaker in the middle of the 20 millions state. So it's also an interesting place. And then after that, when I was 3 years old and the communist time collapsed, and then we moved to Hungary, to South Hungary, and then I was living like 14 years. After that, I moved to the other city from my parents, and I was living there 5 years. And after that, I moved to Budapest for 3 years to study art. And after that, I moved to East Hungary to study art for 3 years again. And then for half year, I've been in Cluj in Romania in exchange program. And after that, I moved to Budapest back again for 4 years. So culturally, I have to say I am from Hungary and I am Hungarian cultural wise, but I don't. I cannot really say where I am coming from because I was often change my places and there is no such a location for me where where what is really connect me somewhere or things like that. So I can so if a question of home, I if I'm in Austria, yes, because since 4 years ago I live in Austria, and if I'm in Austria, then I go to Hungary or to Transylvania, and I always say I go home. And if I am in Hungary, I can say I go home again, but it's mean then that I will go back to Austria. Yeah. So that's how I feel actually. I like to travel. I keep memory of the travel when I was moving with my mother by train to Hungary because it was early 90s, and in that time, of course, the infrastructure were slower. So I really enjoyed to move with the train because I was able to sleep in that time, and my toys were with me, and it was very meditative. Also, this voice of the the rail, like very slow and very always in the same rhythm, like a metronome, and I really liked it. Yeah, very soft and calm, and a lot of nice people, and always new people came in the car, and we really had a nice time, and everyone shared some story of their life because the people were communicate with each other in that time, and it was like how, for example, how they raised the horses and how they went to the field, and they very well described it how they live their everyday life. Yeah, like mm, how can I say, like stories, cartoon stories, or things like that. But it's connected to the real life. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, the whole atmosphere of the train car. You know. Also, my father was a train driver, and when I had a summer holiday or something like that, I always went with him, and we went to Serbia and also around in Hungary. We trained, and it was perfect. It's a nice view. I really liked it. And also, I in that time I had a free ticket. So if I had some free time, I just went around in Hungary. In the beginning, only with my mom, and after when my father had time, also he joined. And later, when I became 16, 15, then I did it alone. This kind of trips, and I had friends, and in that time was developing the internet. So in different cities, I had connections, friend connections, and I visited them. So, for example, for me, a summer was looking like in June. I went to my friend who was living in Slovakia, and then I did this trip with train, and I was there like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And after that, I came to visit my grandmother in Transylvania. And after that, we went to the family holiday to Greek, for example. And in this 3 month summer break time, I wasn't at home, and it was very nice. Now I live in Austria. I moved there to study in 2015, but I had to find a job to cover my living costs. And I had like 7 or 8 different job, and then first I started to work in gastronomy, and it was very busy and stressy. And then then so I was searching something what is less stress, and then I was searching little restaurants, and then I was searching restaurant what was not that busy, so I really checked it in the window in a certain time. Hey, it's busy or not busy. And if it was not that busy but still were some guests, I went inside and I said I came to talk with the manager, and I searching a job, and I always find a job like that. And in that textile factory, I went because it was even more relaxed, like a restaurant. And yes, and that's how I went there, because I do art, and I have to see how much energy I have, and to stable my life, or to set up, or to be an artist, what I have to do. And they have to do some work what is bring me enough money, and or it's okay for my health, so it's not stressy and no unstable, and then the rest of the time I can work on my own art, or I can study something and develop some other skill of mine, because I also for example worked in the Hungarian um, how it's called, Hall of Art, so the main museum of Hungary, and I was their communication officer. So every documentation and every media went through on me, and even if it was interesting and challengeful, after 5 months it was just too much for me. So I wasn't really happy about that kind of job. And yeah, I have to see what is good for me. And even if I have two diploma, but in the textile shop there is a better atmosphere in that kind of situation, and I can work, for example, just 2 days per week or 3 days, and still I have money, and then I can do my own projects works, and also it brings money. Then it's fine for me. What can I say about life in Vienna? The difference that in Vienna the people are more focused on profession. I have a feeling, um, and and they just in the weekend or once in 2 weeks they go to the bar or have a drink or things like that. In Csíkszereda or Merkovic, there is a different approach of having a joy. For example, this is a huge difference. And the similarities, like also the building system, like because also Csíkszereda was part of the monarchy, and then it's a different similar structure of buildings, and that's also a good and interesting topic, that how turned Csíkszereda to the other direction, you know, with time, and which direction went to Vienna after that's the state fall apart. What I like about Romania and Hungary, the possibilities are not occupied yet, you know. So that's also can be very sympathetic for me. Like, for example, if you would like to make a brand, I am sure that it's very difficult, but also there is some possibilities, because there is no such brand around of the goat cheese, you know, but it's very perfect here. And also other agricultural things are not not done yet. Also, um, normal cultural system programs, social programs are not really developed yet. So I think these places are not opened up yet. You can do whatever you want, actually, because here is almost nothing, you know. So like if you study something in Vienna or see how it's going, you can bring it here, and then you can develop it here as well, with a lot of energy, and with a lot of patience. Because of the corruption, is very that's the problematic, actually. And even how I feel that the people, not everyone, most of the people, they didn't really care that a certain person how make money. They just respect this person because this person have money. But also I think the people really have to a little bit um, go against of that kind of mafia, let's say like that. Always something can happen. I think I am a little bit afraid of big changing, because we already know what's happened in Yugoslavia when the people wanted to change. But I think in a softly way it would be some change. It would be nice. I feel good living in Austria, but sometimes there is some discrimination in the society. So I was born in Romania and I grew up in Hungary, and in Austria I met with a lot of people who like to build the people to mark the people, and and then of course I was sexist because I come from Hungary, and I couldn't really prove that I am not, and also sometimes they ask me that how our Prime Minister Viktor Orban is deal in a political field. But it's nothing to do with me, and it's sometimes it can be a little bit frustrated that they wanted to project this kind of things on me, and it's often, of course, the high educated level do it like that, and it also can be funny that how simple they are sometimes. Sorry, and yeah, that kind of discrimination what I had, yeah, and then then it was it was better, I would say. But I wasn't sexist. I just get this kind of mark because I come from Hungary, and I even now I working together with a feminist group in the Kunsthalle, and and it's yeah, I wanted to study a little bit more about this because I was a little bit afraid maybe I did something wrong, but now I am happy that I know that I didn't do anything wrong, or it was not that. Just the problem that even this like yeah, this frustrated persons are I can be I really enjoy sometimes to exclude other person or to put a bad mark on the person and then to show that or cover problems, something like that. Yeah. When I moved to Vienna, it was very interesting because I had no money. I had 1,000 euro, and one room was like 500 euro plus deposit, or 400 plus deposit, or 300 plus deposit. Like it was like just the cheapest solution was more than 1,000 euros. So I was under of the limit. But I had this money, and then I was living. I let it all of my clothes in school in my box, and then I was living in a worker hostel or something like that. But just 1 or 2 nights or 3 nights there, and then 1 night in the university. So I outbalanced, and then I find a job in the restaurant through one my friend, and I was working in the restaurant, and then I get to know more people, and then I heard that there is a room for 160 euro. What was 5 square meter, and the window was open to the stairway house, so it was just a little garderobe or something like that. But still, one bed was fitting inside, and it was enough to start my life. And for that room, I get Nerdezettel, and then what is like a proving of I'm living in Vienna. And then I get better job, I earn more money, I had a bigger flat, and then I was living together. I get to know a girl, and then we were living together for 2 years, and then after that, when we broke up, then I moved to my friend, and there was an empty room, and I reconstruct this kind of room. So I painted over and renovated, let's say like that. And then I get good possibilities there, so I didn't have to pay, for example, caution or deposit. And first month was also free, so it was easy somehow for me. And now I I living there, and there is a big surrounding. A family own a huge house, and every family member there is a own apartment in the house. And I am the only person who is not part of the family, but somehow I became a part of the family because we really have a good time. So, for example, I bought tomatoes plants, and then one family member brought earth for the tomato, and the other member picked up a box for it, and then we're doing the garden together. So it's very funny, and they are also somehow from my interest, so like artists, and we had a project together, and we often meet in galleries, and yeah, it's an easy place. It's good. Now it's like almost 30 or 40, I think, my room, and good because it's also two floors, so I can go down, and I'm in the garden, and I'm living in the city center of Vienna, but also a backyard, a garden with a huge table, and always there is one person from the family, a huge family, and then we have a nice conversation and talk. And sometimes if I just see them in the garden, we just screaming each other. I am from the window and they are from the garden. And yeah, hey, how are you? Some of the first impressions of this city for me was the well covered road. This very gray beton or surface of the road. I really liked it because I like the things if the things are well done and looks nice. There was not broken, there were not hole in the middle of the road. So it was very well painted and very good quality. You see it in the material that it's good, well done quality. The first impression was this, and the other impression was in the beginning this grayness of the city. So the cloud, it's always cloudy in the winter time and in springtime as well, and it's very gray, like a little bit like silver. I have a feeling, and and I also like it and also not. So it's like uh, depends how which kind of composition I see this grayness. Can be a good composition and can be a bad composition. I mean, if it's not fitting so well together with the buildings, or with the nature, the the fade or uh, the darkness or the brightness of the grain, then it's not so good. But if it's fitting very well with the water, with some road, and then if I get in a picture, if I can find like I see a good landscape, then I am very happy with this.